The Malleus Maleficarum, or the Hammer of Witches, is a treatise about witchcraft written by Heinrich Kramer under his Latin name Henricus Instauratus. Kramer was a churchman and inquisitor from Germany with interesting ideas about witchcraft. Written in Latin, the treatise was first published at the end of the 15th century in Germany. The purpose of it was to implement Exodus 22:18, which reads, "Thou shalt not suffer a witch to live." There are 3 sections in the Malleus Maleficarum. The first section grapples with and answers the question of whether or not witchcraft is real. Kramer concludes that it is and goes on to discuss why women are more likely to be involved in witchcraft than men. The second section relays what these sorceresses are capable of doing. And finally, the third section deals with how to go about prosecuting witches. The great majority of people charged with witchcraft in Europe were women. Why? Part of the reason is because of the way some people thought of women during this time, including Kramer. Even the title of his treatise on witchcraft reveals how he felt about women. Maleficarum, meaning of witches, is the feminine plural of maleficus. If Kramer wanted to convey that both men and women were heavily involved in this heretical behavior, he would have used the word maleficorum, which is the masculine or neuter plural of maleficus. Using the feminine version of the word alluded to the idea that women were the main perpetrators. The Malleus Maleficarum also contains a lot of reasons why women were more likely to be involved with the devil and witchcraft than men. He says, all witchcraft comes from carnal lust, which is in women insatiable. Kramer writes that women were more carnal than men. He believed that women were more sexually immoral, which Kramer seemed to think was the root of all sin. He cites Eve as an example of a weak woman and provides other scriptures from the Bible, along with observations from church fathers and the poets and philosophers of antiquity, to support the notion that women are unintelligent, greedy, and governed by passions by nature of their gender. Basically, from Kramer's viewpoint and others of the time, women were either all good or all evil. At the end of this section, he says, more evidence could be cited here, but for intelligent men it appears to be reasonably unsurprising that more women than men are found to be tainted with the heresy of sorceresses. So what types of things could people expect witches to do? The Malleus Maleficarum goes into detail about the various activities that witches could be caught doing during this time. While some were things that both men and women would likely be accused of, others were specifically aimed at certain aspects of medieval life that only women were involved in. According to the Malleus Maleficarum, sorceresses could be caught sending hail and lightning, traveling through the air, predicting the future, transforming humans into wild beasts or animals, causing illnesses, and aiding demons in possessing human bodies. Some of the worst things that witches could do were more gender-specific. They attempted to impede the force of procreation by any means possible, including making men impotent or making women barren. They also were accused of causing miscarriages, dedicating infants to the devil, eating babies, or sending babies to hell by killing them before they were baptized. All of these accusations went along with midwifery, which at the time was not a profession like it was in later centuries and is today. Many times the title of midwife was just given to a woman in the village that had experience of giving birth herself, but she usually had not received formal training. Therefore, many births were unsuccessful and the infant mortality rate was much higher than it is today, leading to many of these rumors about witchcraft being involved not so unbelievable. Although Kramer's views of women were pretty extreme, many of the writers and Bible verses that he referenced to justify his claims were widely accepted. Women were looked down upon during this time. This book became a guidebook by which inquisitors and judges conducted themselves and which subsequent writers used as a foundation for their own works. Whether his audience agreed with everything Kramer said about women or not, the Malleus Maleficarum described witchcraft in a way that painted women as the main perpetrators, and this carried over into the majority of cases of witchcraft being attributed to women. As the best-known treatise on witchcraft, it shouldn't be surprising that Kramer's views on women heavily influenced the mistreatment and discrimination of women when it came to witchcraft.